Good night, good night, good night. A pleasant good evening to you all. Good evening to those who are now joining. You can share the live. Share the live, share the live. Let everyone know that Dr. Matthews is in the house. Share the live. Pleasant good evening to you all. Share the live as you now come in. Share the live. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live as you now enter. Share the live. A pleasant good evening to you all. Welcome to this, the GMS Live, Voice of Democracy. To those who are now joining, I know promised you, uh, I promised you a live call-in program tonight. I know I also promised you a a radio program. Just hold a bit for me, please. Let me get this corrected. Hold a bit for me, please. Thank you very much. Oh, you going home? Ah, good. Hmm, lovely. I thought you were to drive the camera home or something. Okay. You come back, no me why you come right after you go and do your business and finish. I thought you were going to do your business and finish. And you the one like back the door went open. Oh, yeah. Yes, so we are live back again, and I am live streaming. Yes, so we had to look after that issue. So I know I promised a lot of people that I would be on to give persons a chance to come and view their points tonight. I know it was supposed to be a live call-in program, but we haven't gotten that part of that issue sorted out. The 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 device in which we use apparently is not going too well with the internet, and it's not picking certain things up properly. So we're going to just go live with what we have tonight. So I know it's I know it's a hard thing for us, and we want to stay on focus. We want to make sure that those who are being a part of what we do is to stay on focus, stay focused. Guyanese, I know it's a time where we kind of have all sorts of celebration and jubilation. So before I start, let me say good evening from Guyana to the Caribbean and around the world. This is the GMS Live, Voice of Democracy. I am Dr. Gavin Matthews. Welcome to you all, to those who are joining. Share the live as you now come in. Now, we're having a bit of a misunderstanding on some issues that are coming up constantly in our news media, in our social media, and in the print media. Here, what I want to bring to you, Guyanese, that it's something that we need to be we need to stay on that particular ball game. We have misinformation, continued misinformation. It is something that we need to understand that misinformation is what we need to stay focused on. I mean, what we don't need to stay focused on. I mean, sorry, because we're being constantly being misinformed in the news media, especially on the social media itself. And one tends to wonder the level of where we are being misinformed. We need to understand that persons who have the ability to inform a general public or a people have also the ability to change up the way in which they present the news because they're in charge of that. They know that they can have an attendance of those who will view them at a large spectacle and they can control their mind. They control their thoughts. They control the eagerness to get on board, to have a coverage for the question. I know that because they are blending the taste that can enhance your taste bud with all sorts of different, ideas that are not there. They are illuminating your mind in different ways to help to misinform you and to continue to be misinformed why they have the information. And why I'm going down this road tonight is because constantly there are too much things going on in the news where are not newsworthy. What is newsworthy? We're not hearing about the elections petition. That is supposed to be newsworthy. The elections petition tells us whether we have a legitimate government or we don't. That's supposed to be the first topic on the table every day, every night. It is constantly, it's supposed to be constantly a topic, a constant topic in which we discuss as members of the media. It's something in which we're not supposed to even forget about. We're not, so. And then we have persons who are missing or messing with the information that is presented to you. And I want to talk tonight about the Constitution. I want to talk tonight about our economic prospects of Guyana. And I think I want to deal with it in such a way that people must understand that where we are going as a country. One of them is when we are as a country, when we have people who is disrespecting our constitution, who has no respect for the constitution in general, do we expect any legitimate business to be conducted by international organizations? No. Don't let's fool ourselves. We're turning on the media, we're turning on the news, we're opening a newspaper and we're hearing All these different companies from different countries are coming down to Guyana, trying to invest in Guyana. But then we're having problems of what is coming to Guyana and the understanding of what is being able to be business worthy for economic growth. Let us use the Trinidadian trucking company that is here, that drags all ExxonMobil's heavy duty lifted materials. Yes, to those who doesn't know, we have a trucking company down here from Trinidad, and over 60% of their staffs are from Trinidad. They haul all Exxon's heavy duty materials, whether it be Exxon or another another sister company that works on the Exxon. The mere fact that they're here and they're interfering with the proceeds, they're interfering with the procedures of how we want to what is to concern a local content. They're firing back at us. They don't want us to experience the growth and the wealth that is coming out from this oil sector. Then we have different other companies that are coming to do the same thing that interferes with our economic process in having work done. And because we have politicians who have no regards for our Constitution, they are now taking advantage of that prospect, even if the local content is completed, even if it is being brought to law that companies or international companies, macro enterprises do invest, they must follow the local content. They are not going to respect that because they know personally, they know that our lawmakers and our politicians does not respect the Constitution. They know these things. Let's stop fooling ourselves. Look at the regime that is in. That regime never, ever, ever follow the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. It's a terrorist regime, and they operate under such manner as a dictatorship. And how they operate is not in respect of the Constitution. So we're having problems there. Of course, we're having problems there. And now we have contractual agreement, oh sorry, now we have signed agreement where one company controls all the blocks. Wherever they want to go and drill, controls it. And every company or every oil company comes to Guyana. Whether they come to extract, whether they come to invest, they must fall under the umbrella of how Exxon exists. This is what we need to understand. I am not going to give up my country. I'm not going to give up my constitution for you to tell me that I have to play according to the game. It cannot work. It definitely cannot work. It cannot work and it will not work. I am telling you that. Because what we need to understand is what is before us and how dangerous it is. What do we need to do in order to fill in these gaps? First, we need to bring the attention that our Constitution is first and foremost. Companies coming to Guyana need to respect the laws of the land. When politicians say, well, we need to make deals on behalf of Guyanese so they can benefit, it's a must. We cannot afford this. This continues to derail and deteriorate our country and the values of our country. It continues to do so. Because when you look at what is being printed and going out there on a daily basis, you could understand how much brainwashing these politicians are trying to scrub our brains. They don't want us to activate that new part of our brain. They don't want us to activate that switch and being able to think. They're gone again with it. And let me show you another instance. Now, the COVID task force that we have, that is headed by the fourth grade photo taker outer photo app prime minister. The task force that we have, that is headed by him because he's the chairman of the task force, now decided to open up the country, relax all guidelines pertaining to COVID-19 measures. Because of what? Because of matrimony, because of entertainment. They want to continue to distract us. And the only way they can do that is to entertain us, free us up, let us come out and dwell with one with the other, increase the effective rate of the Omicron virus that is ripping through the country. Oh yes. First it used to be from 11 to 4 in the morning. No, they took that away. There's no 11 to 4. It's all the time. Y'all come out and free up. First, they had a bus used to drive around the place, locking you up, giving you charges, making sure you pay a fine. They ain't got it no more. First, they used to make sure that even if you want to hold a wedding, 30 persons, they ain't got it no more because you know why? They had the Kashif and Shanghai event in Linden and they drew a crowd and they realized that entertainment is still in the system, so we can capitalize on it. We're going to focus on it and we're going to mash them up like that. COVID-19 is still real. It is still rampant throughout our society. Now, what they're doing is not only unconstitutional, but they're taking the life away from you. Every human being has the right to life. It is our constitutional duty. When they open up measures, when they create measures to allow a disease, a pandemic, as a matter of fact, like COVID-19, to spread throughout the country, because they relax curfew to make sure that you who wants to go party, go drink, and enjoy yourself, so you can be distracted from the real deal. Man, oh man, oh man. Believe you me, you should see what's going on the road now. You should see what is going on the road now. How these people are misusing our own intelligence. They're helping to create a way where you're destroying yourself. They're working overtime to take your constitutional rights away from you. And the only way we can do such things is by disregarding the life or the right to life as Guyanese, which is our constitutional rights. Any government who goes about doing this in a pandemic that is still affecting a population of people has the intent to what you call ethnic cleansing. So since this is a month for the history of the people like me, and you're opening up COVID-19 measures that you know would increase an attendance in partying, and attendance in entertainment from a population, from a culture of people like me, you know it will increase the COVID-19 effectivity range within the black community. Not only the black community, it's the entire population. But who is affected the most, is who? The less focused we are on the real problem at hand, it is the better for them. It is the better for them. You know what's the amazing thing? Let me tell you something. You ever go and see Bar Jack Joe stand up in a crowd of 5,000 people for say partying and enjoying himself? You think that man's stupid? Hmm? But he's encouraging you to do so. He's making sure that the people under him will stand up and speak, like how Philip's talking. Hmm? Let me tell you something. Hmm. Hmm. It's so amazing that from since these measures are relaxed, every single night it's a party and there's a crowd to it. But we don't understand that these people are taking our constitutional rights from us to give us the right to ethnically cleanse ourselves. That means kill ourselves to those who doesn't know. All they have to do is create an avenue where you can have ground zero or what you call the super spread. So all those who turn up gonna be affected. Come here, come drink the beers, drink the rum, enjoy yourself, infect yourself. Yes. To all those who want to just disregard certain things, the print media is not going to bring this as it is. They're not going to see it like how I see it because nobody has the time to tell you the truth, Chinese. They're going to give you something that is newsworthy because they feel that you'll be entertained by what they bring out and you like that. They like when you can look at a spade, but you can say that's a string because you want to call the spade a string. And they like that because you can get something to laugh about. And they can spread the news, spread the message. And they call each other up, and the WhatsApp is filled. Because you know why? It illuminates your mind. They like when you're being illuminated by the things that doesn't make sense. Guyanese, I am always on point because I want you to know that these people does not sleep in trying to divert the truth from you. They do not sleep in trying to take your constitutional rights from you. It's amazing that people refer to as you doesn't care for yourself, so why care for you? But we need to see the care and love for each other because the politicians doesn't do the right things that we expect them to do. I'll be honest with you, I never knew that I had a 40-year deal with Exxon. Like every government comes in deals with a 40-year. And do not be mistaken, every political party, parliamentary political party knows, or political representatives knows about that deal. Every one of them. Because the Constitution says what makes up a government in Guyana. It is the executive and the opposition. That's what makes up a government. Everything the executive does, the opposition must know. That is what the Constitution says. Collectively, you must inform the Parliament about certain decisions. So don't tell me you didn't know. Just don't say that you do not know. Everything that you're seeing right now is playing out before our eyes. Is what is preemptively been done since then. So they knew how we would have operated. Seriously. And then we have this tit for tat problem where you do, I do. You don't do, I blame you. I don't do, you blame me. But it's the same thing. You're going around in circles all the time. We know about these deals. We know that you know about these deals. But why do you fail to activate the Constitution to protect us from these deals? How can we now trust you as a people? We can't. At least I don't trust them anymore. I never did trust them. I never did like them. So that's why I say I'm not a part of any political party. Because I'm not into the games of distraction and take. And that is what is happening in our society today. It's to distract, and take all the time. And those who know about it are afraid to talk about it because they are frightened that they end up dead next morning. So it's distract, and take. That's what's keep happening all the time. And it is killing us as a country and as a people because we don't know what's going on. And when we do find out what's going on, it's too late because our wealth has been taken from us. And economically, we can't do nothing about it. And constitutionally, well, nobody seems to want to adhere to the Constitution, the supreme law of the land. So we continue to have this problem. Nobody's fixing it. Instead of being a solution to the problem, everybody's being a part of the problem because the problem seems to wheeling in cash for them. But what would you benefit with all this money? And your people do not get a cent of it. What would you benefit? How would your country grow economically in this system, this present system? Today I came earlier on the air and I talked about food security. It is so important of a topic that nobody seems to want to expound upon it. It's an important topic. If we do not have enough food to feed ourselves, well, then the dollar becomes mightier than us who needs to be healthy. And I'm serious. You can't eat billions of dollars without it can't spend nowhere. Where are you going to spend it? Everybody's coming to invest, but where are you going to spend the money? Back into that is being imported. That's how the system works. That's how they're setting it up. Erase your food security and your dependence upon your food security and allow them to bring in food, bring in the items, bring in medication, bring in all these things because you're a multi-billion-dollar economy. And the only way for them to keep enjoying what you have is for your country to become poor, dead poor. So less than 1% enjoy all the riches and the rest lives on handouts. That is what's going to happen if we do not try to correct the system now. We're already overboard. We're already gonna fall. We hit the bottom yet. We can hit the bottom just now and quick. We don't see what the bottom look like. We got a $9.5 billion hardcore bottom there. We can't even begin to repay. We can't even begin to sit down and to say, well, look, let us have an audit. We can't even begin to do that. And everything that I'm talking about is ripping this country apart bit by bit. And they're in that. And the thing is that the de facto administration is enjoying every bit of it because the less informed the people be, it's better for them. It's less headache, so they don't have to explain nothing to you. Let me show you how the laws are being so messed up. We talk about the 40-year deal that they made with Exxon with complete taxes free, everything they only gotta pay for everything that Exxon do. Let me show you what's more messed up. They passed a bill, the natural resources bill, that the only accountability in that bill is for the minister to stand up and say, well, we draw out the money, we spend it here, we spend it there, we spend it down here. That's it. That's the accountability. And they use the slave, like Bishop Juan Ejil, they use that slave to stand up and tell people like himself, his color, that that's what the bill says, and we ought to be thankful for it. I mean, come on, you serious? Where is the democracy that you're talking about? Where are the guardians of democracy? That they make sure that they were on social media every single day talking about being guardians of the. Where is the democracy? Is that democratic? Where decisions are being made and civil society are not involved in it? I mean, seriously, every ounce of this de facto administration comes with a dictatorship from day one. They have never done nothing. The first thing they did, they destabilized the population by sending home 3,000 plus workers. That's the first thing they did when they came and they were installed into office. To destabilize 3,000 plus public servants, send them home. When you don't send them home, because majority of them is black, when you don't send them home, you create a culture of entertainment among them because the only thing that they got to do is either do three things: either do drugs, gun running, crime, prostitution. That's what makes the entertainment industry flourish: drugs, guns, crime, and prostitution. Crime is so much in the increase. Some since you turn around, a crime is being committed now. You're being robbed for the little things that you've got, and they can't get anything from it. People are being physically harmed, wounded for less than $25,000. Can you imagine? That is how deep and distracted we have met, that things have gotten so terrible that you can't even leave your door open for a second or leave a window open without a grill because you always got to keep looking back. That's how worse it got. That's how terrible the situation has gotten in Guyana. It is on the increase, crime, because there's no constitutional effect on it. It's a lawless government who doesn't respect the constitution. So you expect people to respect our country if the party in which leads this country doesn't even respect its own constitution? You can't expect anybody to come here to respect us. The next part they're looking to interfere with is the Representation of the People's Act because they don't like it. It's a hard thing now for them. We are being distracted with too many things that makes no sense. I am serious. How can we give, how can we have hope, sorry, into something that doesn't even produce the essence of hope? It's hard, guys. It's really, really, really hard. It is, Brett. It's something that I cannot begin to digest. And every time I come on the show, I'm being bothered by it. And every time I try to talk, I'm being trying to be silenced and muzzled. Because what is the importance? If you don't have a constitution, how is important? How everything else is important if you do not have something to represent yourself? You don't even have the supreme law. So how are you going to represent yourself without the supreme law? It's been stashed away in a corner, waiting for the legal system to stand up and represent it. I'm being honest, Guyanese. And that's the only way I can go. I can only sit and see the things that is in front of me the way how it's supposed to be and tell you about it because this is not the life that we intended to be for us as Guyanese. Our constitution did not design a way in which it is for us to enjoy such a life. Sorry, for us to not benefit from such a life. It is designed for us to benefit. And the reason why it is not active is because there are those in higher powers who tell themselves that they're beyond and above the Constitution. So it got to wait and relax itself. It is not, how should I put it over? It is not something that we just sit down and dream away. We need to get real. We can't just forget about it. Why are we forgetting about what is the most important to us? Why are we forgetting? Are we playing that we want to forget because we don't want to remember? We don't want to be a part of it. I'm serious. It is your livelihoods that we're talking about. Just know we can't afford to drink a cup of water in Georgetown because it's so expensive. It's hard to live in Georgetown. I know what is going on, and I'm telling you that we are being distracted each day by the nonsense that pops up in the news media and on social media. Every single day. I'm sitting and I'm watching at it and I'm saying, are they serious? Nobody's talking about what is important for Guyanese. Guyanese are beginning to suffer the consequences and suffer it. They are because nobody's coming down to their level to help them to understand. It's getting serious, it's getting out of hand. We got to be careful on what kind of information comes out of these politicians' mouths. And the news and the other news media, oh my gosh, it's a hell of a hobble to get things from them. Look, let me show you a simple example. The Sugate is already gone. Disappear into thin air. Why? Because nobody else is talking about it. They control the narrative. They control how many days that narrative is going to be, and that's it. So the Sioux Gate is just a gate now. There's nothing more else to it. At the end of the day, the dictator tells himself, well, they can cry and talk how much they want, but he moving and they can't move him. That's what he tells himself. He's guaranteed sure that he can stay there for another 3 years dictating Guyanese lives. And he will not be moved. And you come election time, the most we can do is cry about it because he can be installed again. That is now the new norms. That's now the new political norms of Guyana. Being installed and dictated upon from a terrorist regime. We experienced it for 23 years, but that's not enough. We want another 100 years of slavery and dictatorship. To me, that's what is happening. That is what is happening. That's what is taking place now in our country. And people are being distracted by what? You can imagine a man said, going good business coming to Guyana because we're having a good economic proceeds and benefit. But the thing is that, are you Guyanese enjoying what he or she is saying? Answer your question. I mean, let's be real. You could be on the comment and you could comment because I know it's hard for you to call in right now. I don't have the equipment is not up to date as well it should be. But ask yourself, are you comfortable with what is going on right now? No, most of us are not. At least I am not. I can't pretend that I'm comfortable. We're going to work and we're coming home, we're living paycheck to paycheck. And then at the end of the day, we're hearing that we could only get 7%. $4,500 plus one time a year $44,000 out of $500 billion. 537, we can let it keep it the 500 and share the 37 billion among Guyanese and still got change left back. Out of 530, let's ask ourselves. I mean, I want to know what really makes sense, Guyanese. It's troubling. I really want to know what really makes sense to us. Let's ask ourselves that question. What really makes sense? These people just passed a budget for 500 plus billion Guyana dollars. What do we enjoy from it as a country? What economic benefits? Don't tell me contracts are being given out to companies. I don't want to hear that. The largest working force in this country is the public servants. Wait, they can enjoy something out of that? 50,000 are being employed by the public service, 10,000 by the private sector. Look the gap ratio. What are we? Is it that we don't really understand what's going on before us? That we're so naive that we can't get the understanding, or we lack the comprehensive understanding to comprehend what is really going on? Leaders are now informing us I mentioned today about Maya Motley, who was involved in our electoral process. She's now informing Guyanese. She's telling Guyanese, look, if y'all lose y'all food security, that's the end of the Caribbean community because we depend upon a lot of things, produce that comes from Guyana and Suriname. She informed us about it. She even informed them dunce that we got here that look, out of your spin it or torn it between the two political parties if Guyana, Guyanese, doesn't enjoy the economic benefits, the proceeds from the oil industry, we are doomed. Who more else we want here? What more else we want to hear? We are going and living in a destructive path that is not good for us Guyanese. I'm saying so because we cannot enjoy these things. We need a change. We definitely do. We need a change. I was speaking today and the interest of a third party arose out of the conversation. We need that change. We can't really trust them. We need that change. We need a new breed of people. We need that change. I'm not disrespecting the manner in which Arby Norton comes aboard, but you look and see who's working under him. I doubt whether if he can control those same people. If he can, well, kudos. I'm waiting to, and I don't want to wait either. I'm not waiting for nobody to exhale. You come, you're being voted in, you got to hit the ground running. I'm not waiting for somebody to make a plea bargain or plea deal because while you're doing that, lives are being lost. Economic benefits are being taken from us as Guyanese. We are not inheriting anything. What are we inheriting? Let's get serious. What are we inheriting? I know if you're looking at this show right now tonight, you can share the live feed because we are not inheriting anything. We don't have a constitution. We don't have a legitimate government. Everything has been given away. It's not even being given, it's been taken from us. You can imagine they got a company here just taking from us. They're not constitutionally bound to take anything from us, but they're taking from us. And we can't say anything because of an agreement signed. So if we fail that agreement, that means they will sue us for monies that we can't afford to give them back. Can you imagine that? To challenge these people, they don't spend 9.5 billion according to them. They say they don't spend 9.5 billion US dollars. So what do you think happened? Our country now become indebted to Exxon, especially you raise the name Guyana, put Exxon and finish. The Cooperative Republic of Exxon. That's the only thing left to do. That means they're going to come into this country and do as they feel like. This indeed is a colony of the United States of America. We're now just like Puerto Rico. That's where we'll end up. Or if we meet that far, because they want to take responsibility of the lives of Guyanese, they never known. Y'all got tried with your contracts and agreement. You enter into those agreements, those are the agreements that you got to deal with for the rest of your lives. Whether you die by it or you live by it, it's your business. Let's get serious. It is a fact. It is a fact of what I'm talking about. Person who were calling, but I cannot take the calls. The instrument in which I'm using doesn't give me the permission to take those calls. I know tonight was supposed to be a calling night, but I need to understand. I need you to understand that we really can't take the calls. But being on the topic is that we cannot prevent what is already there. If we can, it's a whole new revolution. We got to do like what Venezuela did, take Exxon to court, to the International just Court of Justice, and take our case there. That's the only next move, because if we don't, we will be indebted for them to life. You know what's 40 years? You're talking about three generations, four, because every 10 years you got a new generation of persons coming. That's four generations that we got to watch grow up under dictatorship. It's either internal or external, because that kind of a deal with Exxon is depriving us of our rights. It's taken and depriving from Guyanese without their consent. Let's hold these politicians accountable. You cannot go into these rooms and make these kind of secret deals. And when they done already overboard, then Guyanese get to know about it. Civil society was never involved. So what is the local content? What is the democracy that you're talking about? How do we phantom the truth? I mean, we got to be serious. Just hold a minute for me, please. So we got to know what we want as a people. Hold on. I mean, what next left to do? Are we going to actually sit down and allow this to keep on happening? What will be the future of our children? What would we say to them when the questions have asked, what have we done to prevent this? I mean, come on, let's get real. It is a fact. It is a fact. Don't matter how we twist it or turn it, it's happening, it's real. Guyanese for listening, and I want to talk about that agreement that happened within Exxon and the government of Guyana. That agreement happened between two political parties, the PPP and the APNU AFC. It happened between two of them. The first agreement happened when Bharat was trying to sign on to that, his government signed on to that agreement when they accepted the 1.5%. That was early as 2013. And in 2016, when the government has changed, it is just 0.5% added to that to make it 2%. But the agreement remained the same. You could imagine we have to depend upon a company now to give us bonuses. Depends on how much money they want to give us. 15 million US, 18 million US as bonus. We got to depend on them to give us money. You can imagine that from our proceeds, as a matter of fact, our resources, our natural resources. And then we want to talk about who did what. Yeah, it's more dance that going on here right now. It's like little children. You got a preschool and it's happening. And this is what happening in the preschool. This is the kind of education and the guy the people sign up once and laughing at us. Look, these people is bare jokes. They don't know how to make agreement. We're working years trying to make sure they don't make the right type of agreement. That is what they're doing to us. It's like they're coming to our backyards as bullies, take our resources, and then tell us that we got to pay them for taking our resources while they make billions off of it and hand the crumbs down to these so-called politicians, the 1% who claims to be the wealthy. Some of them can't go to certain places because their assets are being seized. They're not being questioned. They got to stay right in Guyana and face the music. Our local businesses, our small businesses can expand because they got the US Chambers of Commerce that is here, making havoc in our country because our businessmen can't give account for the wealth that they have. This thing here, sir, is far more than you can think, Guyanese. It's far more than what your knowledge is about. The information that is presented to you. Look beyond that and you will see what is happening. I am pleased that I had the opportunity to come on and had an hour with you, that I can talk, I can be able to share what is going on in the country and to edify you. I am pleased that it's a constant beat, it's a constant drum beat, that we can have people like Gavin Matthews, me, we can come and inform the public and help them to understand what is beyond the silver lining that they're being presented with. I am happy for the knowledge that I have gained throughout the 2 year process of coming to you daily and talking to you on this social media. I know there are certain hiccups. I know there are certain things that people want to silence me about, but I will not be silent. I will not go away. I will use the time and I will use it wisely to inform you and to educate you. Black love, my people. It is a brand that I have paid for and it's a brand that I've patented. Guyanese brand, Black Love. The, the brand is still on sale on the t-shirts and on the instruments like the pens, the cups, the hats, and the clothesline and the lingerie that is presented by my better half. But I want you to know that this is where we are presently, giving love, helping you to understand what is before us, and try to see if we can change our culture, change our attitude so we can have a better Guyana. We all can live side by side of each other, no one lower than the other, and have a beneficent, a prosperous Guyana than this what we got here now with this de facto and terrorist regime. I want to say to you, stay safe, be careful, sanitize yourself, wear a mask. And don't forget the little ones you take into public places. This is Dr. Matthews saying Cheerios for now.